Hello and welcome back to UK NBA episode 12 part 4. I'm Ryan Hillback.
And I'm Peter Wells.
And now we're going to be having a discussion, a conversation about did the Cavs make a mistake trading Andrew Wiggins for Kevin Love? Peter, did we make a mistake?
I'd say for the long term, maybe yes in a way. I think Andrew Wiggins would fit in well enough at the Cavaliers. In position-wise, obviously Wiggins is a small forward and wouldn't play ahead of LeBron James. Would have played off the bench. He'd have added to the bench they had. But the only problem is that the Cavaliers had was they didn't really have a power forward. They didn't really have a big front court. So it was kind of a thing of they had to bring somebody in to fill that position. Andrew Wiggins was in that position. So I think in terms of filling that position quickly and getting a superstar player in, yes. In terms of production, I think Andrew Wiggins would have produced plenty off the bench that Kevin Love can't produce because he's been so used to over the years having so many shots, having so much of the ball in clutch time. But ultimately, I think in terms of what the Cavaliers wanted, they wanted a big man and they got exactly what they wanted in Kevin Love rather than Andrew Wiggins. But I think the Timberwolves have got even better, I think, part of the bargain by getting Wiggins, although they're all worse than they were with Kevin Love. Mm-hmm. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah, it is. And I'm going to say that I think it's one of those conversations that's difficult to have at this present time because of the fact that Love hasn't been playing for the Cavaliers for too long and that Wiggins hasn't been playing for the Timberwolves for too long. If we're looking at in the next year or two and Wiggins has gone on to be the player that we all expect him to be, then perhaps we can then turn around and say that the Cavaliers were wrong in trading Wiggins for Love. But at the moment, I think it's too early. I think Kevin Love's going through a bit of a sticky patch at the moment, not quite finding the form that he once did at the Timberwolves and to an extent very early on in his Cavaliers career. He is somebody that will, in my opinion, develop with confidence.
Yeah,
I just think it's a confidence issue at the moment.
He's going to get the same criticism as Chris Bosh did in Miami when he was playing with LeBron. People have made, obviously, comments about that. But I think he's got more room to make mistakes because he's got Kyrie Irving there. Because you've got
J.R. Smith, you've got Mozgov, you've got Big LeBron, you've got Mike Miller. He's not the linchpin of the team. He's not the main man. So that takes a bit of the spotlight, a bit of the pressure off him. When he was at the Timberwolves, he was the main man. Yeah. And to a certain extent, that brings a whole new sort of pressure. At the moment, he's got players like LeBron and JR that will sort of take a bit of that pressure off him. And but if in a couple of months, say at the end of the season, we might have this topic discussion again, it'll be a lot easier then to tell whether a mistake has been made.
Obviously, you know as well with the Timberwolves, they're not very good at the moment, even though Wiggins producing so much. We know that if Wiggins had been on the Cavaliers, it wouldn't have made any difference.
I think they'll still be in the same position as they are now.
Still be one of the best teams in the league.
But it might be a future thing. It might be in the next 2-3 years. We're talking about the fact that Wiggins should still be a Cavaliers player if he continues to develop in the same way that he is.
Yeah, the problem they had was Wiggins was a small forward. He's never going to get ahead of LeBron. And he's not going to wait 6-7 years for LeBron to get old and retire.
Because that's just a waste of a career, isn't it?
He's going to want to move anyway. So it was probably the best option. It was the only option they had. They had to bring in... They had to get rid of Wiggins because of the position he played. Maybe in hindsight, they wouldn't have got him in a draft pick because obviously getting LeBron back. Maybe they should have thought about a different position, somebody like Joel Embiid, although he's coming in later in the season. But then again, Wiggins was there the whole time as a trade option. They brought him in knowing they could trade him away to a team like the Timberwolves for a power forward, which is the position they needed to fill, and bring in somebody like Kevin Love. So I think it's worked well for both parties. I think Timberwolves are going to improve with Wiggins.
And I think the Cavaliers will still be the same. There is no key matchups this week. Well, there are key matchups, but we haven't dedicated a video to them this week just to mix things up, really, because you want a good break of things. But so there's not that. I've been too lazy on the question time, so apologies for that. So the last feature today of part 5 is...
Would you rather?